Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Hi, good morning. Happy Friday. It's September 9th.
We begin in the UK now. Let's go live to Balmoral Castle, where the Queen passed away yesterday. It is just about 3 p.m. in the afternoon. You see mourners are still lining the gates outside of the Balmoral Castle grounds.
That's right. We have reports that King Charles has returned to London, and the bells at the Windsor Castle at St. Paul's Cathedral rang at about noon today. That's London time. Then
a 96-gun salute at Hyde Park, one round for each year of the Queen's life.
And this is all part of an extraordinary commemorations being launched under an elaborate plan called Operation London Bridge.
All Parliament activity will be suspended for 10 days for a period of mourning. After the Queen's casket travels to London, her body will lie in state at Westminster Hall for 3 days, allowing the public to pay their respects around the clock.
And the Queen will finally be laid to rest next to her late husband, Philip, in the Memorial Chapel at Windsor Castle.
We will keep you posted as more plans are revealed, including ABC's special coverage.
And right now it's 8:59. Let's go ahead and check in with Stephen Cavazos. The roads look pretty good from this angle.
Morning, Stephen.
Hey, good morning, guys. Trying a different shot today. There's 410 at McCullough. Now, if you have been watching us throughout the last few hours or so, we had a pretty serious incident there. A crash was actually reported. Now you can see there, things look actually pretty quiet and normal off 410 at McCullough. Still a pretty bit sunny out there, so just pack those sunglasses. Mia Montgomery's here to tell us a little bit more about the forecast later. But just to let you know where the crash was reported, it's here in the eastbound lanes of 410, not far from McCullough Avenue. So you can see we still have a little bit of a buildup at that point, but it's pretty normal at this hour. Now let's go ahead and give you a wide look at the map. We are still seeing some of those residual slowdowns. That's due to some of the road work that continues to take place in and around the Alamo City. 410, of course, and then we are seeing it up on 1604 northwest side, not far from I-10. But again, that is because we have a lot of that active construction. And make sure you plan to commute ahead of time. You can actually grab your phones right now if you're still at home. Scan that QR code by tapping the center of your screen. That will take you directly to our KSAT traffic page. Has a whole list of the closures taking place in and around the Alamo City. So plan your weekend drive ahead of time.
Thank you, Stephen. As we go outside with live cam, you know we consider ourselves one big family here at KSAT, whether you've lived here a short time or a long time. And we have a new member of our family.
That's right. Welcome, Mia.
Thank you, guys. I am so excited to be here. I've been here since Tuesday. That was my first day, and not even kidding whenever I say that everybody at KSAT has just been so wonderful and so welcoming. So I'm very excited to join the Weather Authority team. All right, it is Friday. Let's get you a look outside. We got plenty of sunshine out there this morning. It wasn't too bad walking out. We had a little bit of that humidity, but temperatures were in the upper 60s out in the hill country, low 70s for everybody else. Taking a look at those temperatures this hour, 78 over at San Antonio International, 76 out at Stetson, as well as Randolph out on the east side of town. Your pollen count is in for this Friday. Molds and fall elm, both at moderate. Pigweed, grass, as well as ragweed, pretty low for the day today. Now, as we take a look at that 12-hour forecast, I think mostly sunny skies are in the works generally throughout the rest of the morning. A few more clouds work their way into this afternoon. Temperatures headed for the low to mid-90s, likely feeling just a few degrees warmer out there. A stray shower or a storm can't completely be ruled out by late afternoon and into the evening as well. So we will keep eyes on that. But overall, like yesterday, I do think more of us than not do look to sit on the drier side. Now, as we head into the weekend, temperatures still look to sit on the warm side there as well. We'll talk about that weekend forecast in a few.
Okay, first live hit out of the way,
yes,
Mia.
There you go.
All right.
Welcome.
Great job, Mia. So she's new face to us, but she's not new to our area, and we'll talk more about that coming up a little bit later on in the newscast.
Awesome.
Mia, welcome.
Thank you so much.
We're going to learn more about you in a little while, but for now, let's look at today's 9 at 9. The royal succession underway in Britain as the world mourns the death of Queen Elizabeth II at 96 years old. People in the UK waking up to a new monarch for the first time in 70 years. A massive crowd gathered in the rain last night at Buckingham Palace, paying tribute to the Queen and her life of service.
Queen Elizabeth's son, Prince Charles, is now King Charles III. He is returning to London from Scotland today to observe 10 days of mourning and begin a series of events years in the making. King Charles is expected to address the nation later today in a pre-recorded message. As for funeral arrangements, the Queen will have a state funeral, and it will take place 10 days after her death at Westminster Abbey.
The elected official in Nevada charged with murdering a Las Vegas journalist is being held without bail. The reporter had written a series of articles about the official's department and was working on another one at the time of the killing. The public administrator blamed his failed re-election campaign on articles written about his department.
California Governor Gavin Newsom has declared a state of emergency for 3 counties, citing continued dangerous fire weather. The Fairview fire has burned nearly 19,000 acres and is only 5% contained. The mosquito fires impacted more than 6,800 acres and is 0% contained. That fire continues to threaten more than 1,000 homes and structures.
The federal grand jury investigating the January 6th Capitol attack is turning its attention to former President Trump's Save America Political Action Committee. The Justice Department is trying to find out if the Trump campaign broke the law by raising money by falsely claiming the election was stolen.
Mortgage rates are up again, hitting their highest level since 2008. The 30-year rate rising to 5.89% this week, more than double what it was the same time last year. The average 15-year fixed-rate mortgage also up about 5% for the first time since 2009.
The job market is still hot, with fewer Americans filing for unemployment benefits last week. Initial applications falling to 222,000, their lowest level since May. The less volatile 4-week average is also down 233,000.
NASA has 2 new dates in mind for the next attempt at launching Artemis 1, but obstacles remain ahead of the launch. They're hoping to launch either the 23rd or 27th of this month after 2 scrubbed launches last week over technical issues. But NASA is still trying to fix a fuel leak problem, and they're trying to get a waiver on a rule about batteries in the flight termination system.
Sunday marks 21 years since the deadly attack on the Twin Towers of the World Trade Center, the Pentagon, and Shanksville, Pennsylvania. Nearly 3,000 people were killed in a terrorist attack. In 2009, Congress named September 11th a National Day of Servants and Remembrance. And that's today's 9 at 9.
9:05 in your morning headlines. Some iconic items from late Supreme Court Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg up for auction. And Kellogg's just wants you to add water to its cereal.
Plus a heartwarming 3-for-1 military reunion at an elementary school. RJ Marcus joins us now in the studio with all of those stories and more.
Good to have you here on a Friday, RJ.
Yeah, good to see you guys. And we're talking about that military reunion. That is a great way to wrap up this week, but we will get to that here in just a little bit. Let's start here first with Ruth Bader Ginsburg. She was a trailblazer, serving on the nation's highest court for 27 years, and now nearly 100 personal items of the late Supreme Court Justice are going up for auction. So these items are being offered include some rare signature pieces from Justice Ginsburg's fashion collection, like 2 pairs of her lace gloves, and of course some of her shawls. And right here, this beaded collar necklace. So Justice Ginsburg was known for styling her judicial robes with these bold collars, and this one right here that you're looking at is estimated to be worth $3,000 to $5,000. The auction is live right now on Bonhams.com and ends on September 16th. Proceeds benefit an organization that cares for foster children or those who are at risk of losing their parents. Always very stylish on the bench right there. All right, guys, so chances are some of you are out there enjoying breakfast, and there's nothing like starting the day with a big bowl of cereal and water. Yes, we said water. Check out Kellogg's new Instables. These are little tubs of cereal, little tubs of cereal with milk powder. So when you add water and stir, this is what they say, the milk rehydrates, and boom, we have instant milk and cereal. So there are 4 to choose from at the moment. That would be Frosted Flakes, Raisin Bran Crunch, Fruit Loops, and Apple Jacks. And you can pop them in your cart at Walmart for about $2 a bowl.
Have you guys had powdered milk before?
I've never had powdered milk, no.
It's just all right.
It's all right.
But if I'd argue if you're hungry enough,
Right.
you're good. I mean, this would be great for like college students and stuff.
Well, and just being on the go. I mean, it would
That
be
was a
me
big draw
because
for
there's
this.
sometimes that we're like, oh gosh, we don't have any
Right.
milk, and so at least that's ready to go. So I think
Yeah.
you said it was $2, about
$2.
$2.
Yeah.
I think the cereal without the milk is about, those little packages about the
Right.
same as about $1. So another
So
dollar.
it kind of makes sense. I'm a big cereal guy, and I think I would try this out for sure. But you guys are saying the powdered milk thing kind of throws me off a little bit. The spoon's not included though, so make sure you get your spoon.
What?
That's the deal breaker. That's the deal breaker. No, but we'll have to try it out.
Yeah, absolutely. Taste test here. All right, guys, so from talking about the Breakfast of Champions to, how about this, Little League champs, crowds lining the streets of downtown Honolulu on Thursday afternoon to celebrate the Hawaii team that won the 2022 Little League World Series. Check out this scene there. During the parade, the mayor awarded that squad some custom Louisville Slugger bats, and the manager also got the key to the city. The mayor also proclaimed September 8th as Honolulu Little League Baseball World Series Championship Day, and that also honored state champs from the past.
Having a bunch of support from everyone, tons of people from the state of Hawaii. It's great to see all our fans, and it's just very heartwarming.
Well, he really made this a big parade, so I just really appreciate it. Again, it's just nothing but this is our opportunity to really thank everybody.
All right, so Hawaii beat Curacao in the championship game, and get this, outscored its opponents 60-5 at this year's Little League World Series. 4 of Hawaii's 6 games in Williamsport ended early due to the run rule. This was one of the most dominant performances of all time, so very well deserved for those young men right there. Okay, so get the tissue out for this story because this is a great way to wrap up our morning headlines. 3 children in Virginia went to school on Thursday thinking it would be a normal day, but that did not turn out to be the case. They were each surprised in the middle of class by Dad, a Navy chief who just returned from a 9-month deployment. So this is Chief Michael Collins. His first stop on this mission at St. Matthew's Catholic Church was his son Brody's 5th grade class. Here's more of that emotional moment.
I just thought it'd be cool. Come get you from school.
Did we surprise you? Yeah, was it a good surprise? Are you happy? Yeah.
Okay, so that was just the start of this. After that, Colin surprised his daughter Emery right there when she was in PE class. At first, she didn't notice him, but then quickly realized that he was there, and you could see ran up to him. And then the final reunion was with his youngest, Morgan, who's in kindergarten. So the school said that the children knew Dad would be coming home at some point soon, but didn't know when. Look at her right there.
Daddy, I know you.
What are you doing here?
I like how she just popped up there. Yeah, a very emotional moment there. So of course the school and the staff helped set this all up out there out in Virginia Beach, a big military community.
Oh,
obviously.
huge. Yeah, absolutely huge. Well, welcome home, Chief.
Yeah.
I was just reading, RJ, he served on the USS San Jacinto. So now back at home port and home.
Yeah,
home for
great
a while.
stuff there. Yeah, great stuff. Great reunion. A 3-for-1.
Yes.
Love it. Yeah.
I know. I love that he was able to surprise all 3
all of them in
kids.
succession. Yeah. That last one there was, she just popped up. She's like, oh my God, Dad's here.
That was great. Perfect for a Friday, as we like to say.
Yeah.
Thank you,
RJ. 9:10, about 78 degrees.
And Tiffany Huertas joins us now. Tiffany, what do you have coming up?
Hey guys, a center serving veterans, service members, and their families has expanded. Just check it out. This is one of the rooms. Coming up after the break, we'll tell you how these services are getting impacted.
Welcome back. This is about 9:14. A local center providing counseling services to veterans, active duty service members, and their families is expanding.
The San Antonio Northwest Vet Center, part of the U.S. Veterans Affairs Department, has added space to their facility that will allow them to provide more services to more people. Tiffany
Huertas joins us live from their facility on San Antonio's northwest side. Tiffany, good morning. How many people does this facility serve?
Good morning. They serve thousands of people. Currently, they're serving about 300 currently in this moment, but what's really cool about this service is that they have counseling services throughout different areas. So teams from here, they go to different places during emergency situations. Recently, they went to Uvalde. There, they help the community in many ways. And check it out. This is one of the rooms where they do different activities here. And they're going to continue to do this, but more. To talk a little bit about this, we have Erin Lowe, the director here. Good morning, Erin. Talk to us about, first, the services. We're looking at guitars. We're looking at different things here. What do you all provide here?
So we provide readjustment counseling services to eligible veterans and active duty service members and their families. So we provide that in the form of individual counseling, group counseling. The group counseling, we have many support groups here that target different eras. Vietnam, OEF, OIF. We also have many different recreation activities that we provide here. We have an arts and crafts group. We've got some walking groups. We've got a guitar group where one of our therapists teaches veterans how to play guitars.
That's amazing. And this new expansion, what does it entail?
So the new expansion, the highlight is that we are able to add more office space to provide those services to the veterans. We also have another group room, whereas before the room that we're standing in had to be shared amongst a team of 4 or 5. So now with the extra group room, we're able to open up our group offerings, and we're able to have groups at the same time. We don't have to switch.
That's going to be a big impact to this community. And you all recently went to Uvalde. Talk to us about that experience.
Well, it was a little overwhelming, but in situations like that, we do have a mobile unit that can go and provide services to the community in those tragic times.
What other places have you all helped?
We recently went down to Houma, Louisiana, and did disaster response during, I believe it was Hurricane Maria. We've also been to Houston during Hurricane Harvey. We were also present in Sutherland Springs when that tragedy happened.
How excited is your team to have this expansion here in San Antonio?
Very excited. Like I said, we're able to offer more services to our veterans. We've got more office space. We've added a family therapy room. So it's really going to open up that space for us.
Thank you so much for sharing all that information. We're going to have all those details on KSAT.com and on the noon show. Back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you so much, Tiffany.
If you missed top of the newscast, we have a new family member here at KSAT, meteorologist Mia Montgomery, and she is new to us, but not new to the area. Tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
That's right. Well, yes, I am from the San Antonio area. I was actually born in San Antonio and then raised just down the road in Floresville. So I graduated from Floresville High School.
That's you, just in case you forgot what you look like.
Just in case you forgot. There it is right there. But yes, after I graduated Floresville High School, I decided that Texas A&M was where I wanted to go. I'm actually a 4th generation Aggie, believe it or not. Oh, wow. Parents, grandparents, and even some great-grandparents have been up to College Station. So brainwash since birth is a real thing. Don't let anybody tell you anything different.
Are we only hiring Aggies for weather now?
I know, 3 out of 5. That's majority rules.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, so in Texas A&M, and just the fact that I was able to study meteorology on top of that, that was just the icing on the cake for me. So it's been fantastic.
And you come to us from Bryan College Station,
yes.
The KBTX TV.
KBTX. So I interned under the Pinpoint Weather team whenever I was a senior at A&M, and I always joke that I guess I didn't mess things up too badly because they asked if I wanted to join their team after I graduated, and it was such a wonderful place to kind of kick off a career. They're just wonderful human beings. Obviously, Bryan College Station isn't that far away from San Antonio, so I was able to come home, see family a lot, and friends. So it definitely was a wonderful place to start. But I'm so happy to be back home for sure.
Well, that's kind of cool because you got to work at home. Your home at Texas A&M.
Yes,
and
second
now you're at home here in this
now
area.
Moving back to the first home. So that is just kind of a lifelong dream that I'm so happy to fulfill.
Welcome, as I said the other day, welcome aboard.
Yes,
thank you.
Yes.
Amazing. All right, well, it's going to be another warm one out there this Friday afternoon. As we head into the second half of the day, those temperatures looking to climb into the low to mid 90s. So pretty similar today as what we've seen over the past couple of days. 95 is that high temperature here in San Antonio, 90 up in the hill country for folks in Bernie, up in Kendall County, 91 that forecast high over in Kerrville, 93 in Castroville, 93 in Elmendorf, and 90 out in Floresville in Wilson County. As of right now, mostly sunny skies. Again, I do think we will hold on to plenty of sunshine today, especially through the morning hours. Maybe a few more clouds working their way in through the second half of the day, kind of like also what we saw yesterday. 78 is where we sit this hour, a dew point of 70. So we do still have that moisture in the atmosphere. And whenever you do factor that in, feels like temperature just a few degrees warmer. 73 currently up at Bernie Stage Road, 76 Bulverde, 75 up in Canyon Lake. Most of us are dry very early this morning. We did have a few showers across our southwestern counties near the I-35 corridor that continued to move farther down to the south in the west. Most of it has dissipated this 9 a.m. hour, and most of us are quiet and dry. That will continue to be the case as we head into this afternoon, but because of just a little bit of energy moving through south central Texas, also like Thursday Thursday. Can't completely rule out a very few isolated spots of rain, maybe a stray rumble before the day is done. Some of that could pop up by about 3 to 4 o'clock. Maybe a few very, very stray showers lingering into early evening plans. But as of right now, the vast majority of the region does look to sit on the drier side before the day is done. And again, the reason being there's an area of low pressure in the upper levels of the atmosphere that's just off to our east, closer to Louisiana as well as Mississippi. And because we sit just on the west side of that system, we see a few disturbances roll around the western edge of that low pressure. So that's why we still keep that very isolated chance for rain in the forecast. Really more of the same is in the works for your Saturday. Most of us staying quiet over the next 48 hours, and that looks to be the case as we head into the beginning of next week as well. High pressure is currently sitting over the far western tier of the lower 48. That ultimately is going to control our weather pattern as we head into the second half of the weekend and into the beginning of next week. We also have some drier air in the mid to upper levels of the atmosphere as well that's going to be working its way in, especially by Sunday and into Monday. So those temperatures look to start off each morning in the low 70s, still maybe a few upper 60s, especially across portions of the hill country, and then into the afternoon, those temperatures climbing into the mid 90s, but especially by Sunday and into the beginning of next week as well, with some of that drier air mixing in. The good news is those feels like temperatures won't be as bad as they could be. So today it could feel closer to the mid to upper 90s this afternoon, but into next week we should see those heat index values a little bit closer to the actual air temperature. So still plenty hot outside, but not as bad as it could be, guys.
Excellent job, Mia.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. 922, 78 degrees.
And taking a look at how Queen Elizabeth II is being honored at the Sydney Opera House in Australia. Everyone around the world mourning her passing. After the break, what some prominent leaders in the U.S. are saying about Her Majesty.
Welcome back. Live look at Balmoral Castle in Scotland, where it is now 3:25 in the afternoon. People still gathering there. It is said that Queen Elizabeth II enjoyed her last few weeks at one of her favorite places on earth, and that is her castle in Scotland. The Queen's II's legacy, Elizabeth II's legacy, honored across the United States this morning. Political leaders, rock stars, even Britons living here in America, remembering the Queen's legacy.
As ABC's Jay O'Brien reports, Americans young and old have been visiting the British Embassy to offer their condolences. President Biden also visiting and signing a guest book there.
This morning, the United States mourning the death of the United Kingdom's beloved monarch, Queen Elizabeth II. In Washington, flags ordered to half-staff at the White House and Capitol. President Joe Biden Thursday signing a condolence book at the British Embassy, celebrating what he called the Queen's enduring strength and her life of public service. Later addressing her passing at a Democratic Party reception.
The thoughts and prayers of the American people are with the people of the United Kingdom and the Commonwealth in their grief.
Leaders from both political parties celebrating the Queen's legacy. Former President Trump saying she will always be remembered for her faithfulness to her country and her unwavering devotion to her fellow countrymen and women. Former President Obama and First Lady Michelle Obama writing the Queen meant a great deal to us. We were struck by her warmth, the way she put people at ease. Brits across the U.S. describing a feeling of grief.
She's somebody to look up to. It's a huge loss when you feel the connection.
And Beatles legend Paul McCartney also tweeting, "God bless Queen Elizabeth II." Elton John saying the Queen has been a huge part of my life from childhood to this day, and I will miss her dearly. The Queen will have a state funeral in London. A date for that is expected to be announced soon. It's expected heads of state from across the globe will attend. Jay O'Brien, ABC News, Washington.
927, 78 degrees. More ahead on GMSA at 9.
Including a look at now King Charles III and his journey to the throne, plus the new line of succession after Queen Elizabeth's passing.
But before that, Dylan Collier is here in the studio to talk about the trial of ex-constable and now convicted felon Michelle Barientes Vela. He'll explain what is next for her and the message being sent to other public officials.
We, the jury, find the defendant Michelle Barientes Vela, guilty of the offense of tampering with or fabricating physical evidence as charged in count 1 of the indictment.
Less than 3 years after being in charge of a law enforcement agency here in Bexar County, Michelle Barientes Vela is now a felon.
She was convicted a week ago of altering security payment records from a West Side park and then turning over fake documents to law enforcement.
That's right. And our Dylan Collier covered the ex-constable's trial from gavel to gavel. And Dylan joins us now here live on GMSA at 9. Good to have you back, Dylan.
Thanks for having me.
Good to see you. So what comes next for Ms. Barientes Vela?
Monday begins the sentencing phase of her trial. It will not be nearly as long as the actual trial was. Judge Vela Mesa is hoping to keep it to 2 days. But included in the sentencing phase will be the first evidence that we hear in these 3 additional official oppression charges that were not part of the trial that took place over the last couple of weeks.
Speaking of that, the tampering charges Barientes Vela was convicted of concerned her actions at Rodriguez Park and how she dealt with the public there. What allegations are contained inside the official oppression counts that she still faces?
So these are Class A misdemeanor charges, and in my opinion, the stronger charges against her. They were a lesser charge, and I think that's why the state went with the tampering charges. But this involves essentially her treatment of deputies that worked under her. If you recall, she had one of her deputies arrested for aggravated perjury after he filed to run against her in the constable's race. This took place in April 2019. And the allegations contained within those official oppression charges is that she created a hostile work environment for him and a second deputy, Christopher De La Cerda, and essentially forced them at work to be faced with intimidation and harassment from other people in the workplace. So those are sort of the basis of the remaining charges against her. The state wants to get her sentenced. If it goes the way that they hope it does, they'll essentially drop those remaining official oppression charges at the end of sentencing.
This really did turn into kind of a political and law enforcement soap opera. Let's go back to the legal process, Dylan. Realistically, is she facing prison time?
She will likely get no prison time and a lengthy term of probation, a minimum of 2 years, possibly upwards from that. She will no longer allowed to be a peace officer in the state of Texas, and there'll be some other things that come with being a convicted felon. But I think for folks that are hoping that she'll get 10 years in prison, which was going to be the max, that just simply won't be the case because she didn't have, before last week, a criminal record. There's been a ton of allegations against her. The county has had to settle a number of lawsuits, civil suits that had been filed against her. But at the end of all that, she did not have a criminal record before this trial.
And speaking of that, the criminal investigation, the indictment, the trial, what message do you think this whole process has sent to other public officials?
You've got to do your job, and you can't go outside the bounds of what your duties and responsibilities are. You know, I thought it was interesting. District Attorney Joe Gonzalez, when he spoke to the media after the guilty verdicts, pointed out that she was a member of his own political party. They're both part of the Democratic Party in Bexar County. So for his office to go after her and to pursue criminal charges and take her to trial over a lengthy 3-year period kind of really shows you that it doesn't matter who you are. You're not above the law, especially if you're put in a position of power when you're in charge of people and have duties to kind of represent the public.
Real quick footnote, Dylan, sentencing scheduled for on or about?
Monday and Tuesday of next week.
Okay.
The judge does not want it to go beyond that. This has been a trial that's kind of dragged out a little bit. She's done a pretty good job of keeping it on schedule. So she's hoping that it's over by Tuesday afternoon.
Well, you don't have to go very far on our website to look up KSAT Investigates and Dylan's reports on this entire saga, and it truly has been a wild odyssey.
Yes, it has.
Yes. Okay.
Well, thanks for joining us today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dylan. Good to see you. Again, right here, as a matter of fact, speaking of.
You can catch the sentencing of Michelle Barientes Vela. Will be live beginning Monday, like Dylan said, on our digital platforms, including KSAT.com, KSAT Plus, and also our YouTube channel.
Outside with live cam. Almost 80 degrees out there at San Antonio International, where this camera is nearby. You see some blue sky. Again, we are welcoming Mia Montgomery, meteorologist Mia Montgomery, to our team this morning. And hi again, Mia.
Hello. Yes, not too bad out there this morning. Again, we did have a little bit of that humidity, but temperatures started off the day in the upper 60s and low 70s. This afternoon, we will be monitoring for maybe an isolated spot of rain. Stray rumble or two can't completely be ruled out. Again, only about a 10% chance today and into our Saturday. Saturday, more of us than not do stay dry. It will still be plenty warm this weekend. Temperatures in the low to mid 90s each afternoon, but we'll look forward to maybe a little bit of dry air arriving, especially early next week, to help out with that feel factor. Temperatures right now in the 70s, a few low 80s out there, especially out in Gonzales. Taking a little closer view here to the San Antonio Metro, 78 over at Port SA, 79 in Castroville, out in Medina County. As we head into this evening, if you're stepping out for any Friday evening plans or Friday night football games, again, we will monitor for an isolated stray leftover shower. Temperatures in the upper 80s and low 90s by kickoff time.
Thank you, Mia. We are still waiting to learn more information about a shooting yesterday at a park in Uvalde.
2 people were airlifted to San Antonio hospitals after that shooting, and 4 people are in custody. This comes just days after students returned to class in Uvalde.
The Uvalde mayor says the shooting is believed to be gang-related. According to Uvalde police, the shooting call came in around 5:30 yesterday afternoon. Police say the victims are both juveniles. Mayor McLaughlin says the gangs involved have been going back and forth for 6 or 7 months now. He also spoke of the concerns to the communities that continues to try to heal from the Robb Elementary massacre back in May.
Everybody's going to be on pins and needles, but like I said, we've got plenty of DPS officers at these schools, local officers. I know the trust is not there, but we will be there. We will not let this community down again.
The Uvalde Together Resiliency Center wants to remind people there is a 24/7 hotline for those who may need counseling or other resources. We have all that information on our website at KSAT.com.
Now to King Charles, the man the world has known as the Prince of Wales since 1969, ascends to the throne after 70 years of preparation.
ABC's Andrew Divert has a look at King Charles's journey and the new line of succession to the throne.
This morning, the man the world has known as the Prince of Wales since 1969 ascends to the throne after a lifetime of preparation. The 73-year-old son of Queen Elizabeth served as heir longer than anyone in history. Just 3 when his mother became queen, Charles was the first heir to attend school rather than having private tutors. He said he was bullied and once told Barbara Walters he struggled in certain subjects.
Oh, yes. I failed my maths exam 3 times. I finally got it on the 4th attempt.
At 31, Charles proposed to his uncle's granddaughter. She turned him down. Then he met Camilla Shand, but she was already married. Finally, he found a perfect match in Lady Diana Spencer, the younger sister of an acquaintance. In 1981, Charles married Diana before a TV audience of 750 million people. They would have 2 sons, William and Harry.
They're in very good form indeed. Bring us both an immense amount of happiness.
But the marriage began to crumble. Their foreign trips became portraits of an unhappy relationship. But observers say it was Charles who became alienated after divorcing a beloved princess.
The funeral procession is on the south side of the park.
With Diana's sudden death just 1 year after their divorce, Charles became a single parent. It took years for many in Britain to forgive Charles for his affair with Camilla, who became his wife. The public mood eventually softened for Charles, with moments like this, playing weatherman on the BBC.
The potential for a few flurries over Balmoral. Who the hell wrote this script? As the afternoon goes on.
And the Queen's Jubilee in June, Charles winning the crowd over with a deeply personal tribute.
Your Majesty, Mummy, we think of all you have done to make the Commonwealth such an important force for good. You continue to make history.
With Charles now as king, Prince William is next in line to the throne. He's expected to become the Prince of Wales soon. His wife Kate is expected to become Princess of Wales, the title long associated with William's mother, Diana. Andrew Dimbert, ABC News, New York.
And let's take a live look. This is outside Buckingham Palace where people are mourning right there.
I'm going to ask our producer a quick question. Is that still Balmoral? That looked like the shot we had earlier. Or is that Buckingham Palace? Okay, so we believe that is Buckingham Palace there in central London. And onlookers now continuing to arrive. Can we go back to the shot real quick? Oh, okay.
They
Got you.
just switch it. Yeah.
Yeah, we think that
Yeah.
is Balmoral. Right. My first inclination was right. Anyway, if we get Buckingham Palace, we get that live shot, we will try to bring it to you in this newscast.
That's right. Time now is 9:41 and 80 degrees for now.
Glad you're with us. Still to come on GMSA at 9, this month's KSAT community event is Head for the Q, a race very dear to our hearts here at KSAT. When we come back, how the race is giving back to so many and how you can get a discount on registration. Was that video Stephanie running?
I didn't see it.
9:44 this month, KSAT community helping with a race near and dear to our hearts, Head for the Cure.
And this year will be the 9th annual 5K run walk that raises funds and awareness for those in the community with brain tumors.
Erica Hernandez explains how this race started and how it continues to give back to so many.
3, 2, 1. Year after year, the Boyle family laces up their shoes and runs or walks in memory of Jim Boyle.
I think it's also just a part of us missing him, number one, and just he was such a part of us.
Jim was KSAT 12's former news director who was diagnosed with a brain tumor after suffering a seizure in September of 2013. The inoperable glioblastoma tumor later caused a brain bleed, and Jim died 6 months after being diagnosed.
If you haven't been through it, maybe it's hard to understand. So I think it's important to have a well-known community out there for support for people going through the same thing.
Jim's daughter, Erin, helped bring Head for the Cure to San Antonio, and in 2014, the race kicked off right outside KSAT 12 studios, not only in Jim's memory, but in memory of all those who are battling or who have passed from brain cancer.
It is a great way to celebrate loved ones who have been through a lot and to celebrate the community that forms around them.
9 years later, the race is still raising money and awareness, and Team Boyle over the years has raised more than $100,000. And again, this year's race route will go right here in front of KSAT 12. Registration is now open and will be open all the way until race day on September 24th. Erica Hernandez, KSAT 12 News.
And speaking of that registration, right now you can get $5 off registration with the promo code KSAT. So you can find that information on how to register on our website at ksat.com. We hope to see you there.
Something to look for on Facebook, a new page, KSAT meteorologist Mia Montgomery.
That's it.
Is that the whole ding?
That's the Facebook.
Okay.
You had it. That was good.
God, I know you got a ton of likes in the last 24 hours.
Well, just, I guess, a new face.
Right.
Everyone kind of just getting used to it. I'm excited. It's been great.
Well, I'm following you, so that's...
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Both of you. It's amazing.
We started at, 6:45 this morning? Our first introduction?
Oh, yes. Yeah, right at the end of the early edition.
So I think that's when the likes started.
That's it.
Early on.
Yep. Appreciate both of you. It was fantastic.
Of course.
All right. Well, it is Friday, and a lot of folks gearing up for the weekend, myself included. It's going to be another warm one out there, but we should still find plenty of sunshine. And again, just an isolated chance for rain here over the next 24 to 36 hours. A few clouds outside, but still plenty of sunshine. Temperatures sitting at 78 over at San Antonio International. South wind on hand at about 7 miles per hour. Again, a dew point, which is how we measure the moisture in the lower levels of the atmosphere, sitting at about 70, which is why those feels like temperatures are just a few degrees warmer. 78 up in Bulverde, 76 out in Converse, it's 77 in Hondo, and 76 out west in Uvalde. As we head into this afternoon, I think those daytime highs will likely top off in the low to mid 90s, probably feeling closer to the mid to upper 90s in spots. But if you are stepping out for any of those Friday evening plans, again, an isolated chance for rain. More of us than not stay quiet. 87 by 8 p.m. Those temperatures falling into the low 80s by 10 p.m. And eventually we will continue to see those thermometers drop into the 70s through the overnight hours. That'll take us into the weekend. Again, still plenty warm. Each weekend afternoon, I do think we will see those temperatures top off in the low to mid 90s. Also, we'll keep about a 10% potential for a few more very isolated spots of rain throughout the first half of the weekend before we dry things out into our Sunday. Some of that thanks to a little bit more drier air that looks to move into south central Texas, but also thanks to an area of high pressure that's more or less going to be controlling our weather pattern here at home. That high pressure system currently situated across the western tier center of the lower 48 this Friday morning. Notice still providing plenty of heat to portions of California, a mixture of excessive heat warnings, that pink color, and heat advisories in place. But notice farther down to the south, closer to the Los Angeles, San Diego area, reaching over into the southern reaches of Nevada and even into Arizona, that green color is actually a flood watch in place thanks to Tropical Storm K. That continues to ride up the western edge of Baja California, and it still does look to produce some pretty heavy and widespread rainfall to the desert and mountains there in Southern California before that continues to move farther west into portions of the Pacific. As we take a look at the Atlantic Basin, it really has been a quiet season so far, but as of right now, there is plenty of activity. Thankfully, it's just not really affecting the United States. Hurricane Earl, after bringing some pretty gusty winds to portions of Bermuda, is now moving northeastward away from Bermuda. That does look to stay out in the Atlantic. And then as we take a look across the far eastern Atlantic, just a low chance of development with some tropical waves that are in the eastern Atlantic and then coming off the western coast of Africa. So good news there, but of course we will continue to keep eyes on it. All right, taking a look out there right now, we did have a few showers very early this morning track across portions of Zavala as well as Dimmitt counties. On Wednesday here at the airport, we only were able to grab about 0.06 of an inch of rain, but last Saturday almost an inch, and that actually was factored in to this week's drought monitor that was released yesterday. The good news is we are seeing some improvements there, getting rid of a few more of those red colors. Again, it will be warm this weekend with that 10% chance for an isolated shower. We're going to take a step aside. We'll be right back after this.
Pro football coverage, powered by Davis Law Firm.
NFL regular season kicked off last night. Here's a look at the schedule for our Texas teams. Colts taking on the Texans Sunday at noon at Houston. And the big Sunday night game, Bucks versus the Cowboys in Dallas. KSAT 12 Sports will be there.
And it's week 3 for high school football. If you can scan that QR code on your screen right now, we'll take you to the big game coverage section of KSAT.com. You can find schedules and scores from our local games. And don't forget to download the BGC app where you can stream some of the football games.
It's a big weekend for Manu Ginobili. He's inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame. Official duties begin today with the induction ceremony set for tomorrow night.
It's a little-known player from Argentina who was a second-round pick back in 1999, spent 3 seasons overseas before moving to San Antonio, where he became a smash hit.
His passion and his ability to speak fluent Spanish made him arguably one of the most popular Spur in team history. He was asked what it's like to be the forefather of now the stream of international players who suit up in the NBA.
It was a span, I would say 5 to 10 years in which everything changed. When we started to see international players in number 1 in the draft or top 10 consistently. And all of a sudden, in those 5 years, 20 to 25% of the rosters were built with international players. So yeah, I'm proud of being part of that generation that changed the way the game was played, the game was perceived, the international players were recognized. So it was fun to be part of that.
Manu! Greg Simmons is in Springfield, Massachusetts for this momentous occasion, and he'll have live reports during our later newscasts.
We do want to let you know that ABC is planning a special report right around noon San Antonio time as he addresses his nation and the world for the first time since the passing of Queen Elizabeth II. Again, coming up right here on KSAT.
Yeah. Also, welcome Mia.
Welcome Mia.
Thank you. So happy to be here.
Have a great weekend.
Friday.